Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Metalmorph Lair of Darkness deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an extremely interesting deck with how well the Metalmorph cards work with Lair of Darkness. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing a single copy of Metal Zoa X. Metal Zoa X is amazing in this deck as a 1-up because this card has the ability to reveal this card in your hand to set a Metalmorph trap directly from your deck, and if you do, shuffle this card back in the deck, helping get your copy of Max Metalmorph on your side of the field so you can step into this card. This card also helps you pop cards on the field, which is amazing, up to twice per turn, which is crazy. This card can pop 2 cards per turn, and also it's very easy to summon in this build because we play so many different fiends. We then play a single copy of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon is great in the deck as a 1-up as well because you can actually reveal this card in your hand just like your copy of Metal Zoa to be able to shuffle it back in the deck and set a Metalmorph trap to your side of the field. Plus this card is a walking negate, which is amazing. We then play 3 copies of Lilith Lady of Lament. This card is definitely a 3-up in the build and so powerful in the deck to help you get to the exact trap card you need. As if this card is normal summon, its original attack becomes 1,000, and quick effect, you can actually tribute a dark monster to reveal 3 normal trap cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one of them for you to set to your side of the field and you shuffle the rest back into your deck, which is an awesome effect to help you get to the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Arima. Arima's amazing as a 3-up in the build because this card helps you get to your copy of Lair of Darkness. That you can discard this card and to add Lair of Darkness from your deck to your hand. And you can also tribute a dark monster to draw a card, or if you tributed a dark monster other than this card to activate this effect, you can actually add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand, helping you grab the exact monster you need from your deck to your hand off Arima's effect. We then play 3 copies of Metal Illusionist. Metal Illusionist is great as a normal summon in the deck. Besides your copy of Lilith, this is the best normal summon in the entire build, as this card has the ability to increase this card's level to 5 during your opponent's turn only, and if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually set a Metalmorph trap directly from your deck. Then if Max Metalmorph is in your graveyard, you also get to draw a card, and also it has the effect that you can declare one other monster type, and this card becomes that type until the end of your opponent's turn, getting you the exact type you need so you can step either into your copy of Metal Zoa X or your copy of Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. We then play 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Lord of the Heavenly Prison is great in the deck to help you protect your back row while also being able to summon out a massive monster to your side of the field and being able to get a trap onto your side of the field. This card is great as a 2-up in the deck, but I feel like 2 is really all you need. We then play a single copy of Darkus Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. This card is great to play in the deck, as this card is the ability your opponent cannot tribute this face-up card on the field, and it cannot be targeted with card effects. And if a dark monster you control is tributed, you can actually special summon this card from your hand or your graveyard, which is a really cool ability to instantly get this card out on your side of the field, especially since it's a dragon monster, so you can step into your copy of Full Metal Dragon. We then play a single copy of Magnamut. Magnamut is great as a 1-up in the deck to be able to play a small bestial package in the deck because they are dragon monsters that are level 5 or higher, making it super easy to step into your copy of your Full Metal Dragon. But all of your level 6 bestials share a common effect that you can target a light or dark monster in either player's grave, banish it. If you do, special summon this card in your hand, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. But this card is super unique because if it's special summon, you actually get to, during the end phase, add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Druid's Worm. Druid's Worm is great because it helps you spot remove cards off the field. We then play 2 copies of Baldrake. Baldrake is great in the deck because this card actually works really well with Lair of Darkness because this card is a super unique ability that if your opponent special summons a Ritual Fusion, Synchro, Exe, or Link monster, you can tribute one of their light or dark monster and then target one of those special summon monsters and banish it. Because Lair of Darkness is on the field, your opponent's going to control dark monsters, and we can actually tribute one of their monsters, which is insane, making this card definitely a 2-up in the build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Incoming Machine. Incoming Machine is really cool as a 3-of Rota for the deck. I think you add a monster that mentions Max Metalmorph or a Max Metalmorph trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And also, if you control a Metalmorph trap, you can actually banish this card from the graveyard to target a defense position monster opponent controls and change it to face-up attack position, making it easier to go in for game. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance is great in this deck, so you really don't need the extract all that much. This card is great to help you draw 2 cards. We then play 3 copies of Lair of Darkness. Lair of Darkness is what the entire deck is based around, and this card is absolutely amazing as all face-up monsters on the field become dark. And once per turn, if you attribute a monster that you control to activate a card effect, you can actually attribute a dark monster your opponent controls instead, even though you don't control it. Which is why this card works so well with your copy of Metalmorph, because if your opponent summons any bestial monster or any high-level fiend or dragon monster, we can just instantly attribute it to summon out either Metal Zoa X or a copy of Full Metal Dragon, which is insane. This card also generates as tokens, which is amazing, but this card is really good as a 3-of in the deck and just absolutely necessary for the build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Time Engine. Time Engine is great in the deck, but it's so easy to get to that I decided just to play a single copy. This card is always treated as a Metalmorph card, meaning it's very easy to set this Metalmorph trap to your side of the field. And this card is great because if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it. Then if you special summon a level 5 or higher machine monster by this effect and you have a Metalmorph trap in your field or on your graveyard, you accept this card on the field, you can apply this effect, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the special summon monster's original attack, which is a great effect to do a lot of burn damage to your opponent. We then play 2 copies of Max Metalmorph. Max Metalmorph is amazing to help us summon another copy of Metal Zoa X or Full Metal Dragon. And this card's ability to tribute a face-up monster to be able to special summon a monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, and mentions Max Metalmorph from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you can equip this card to it with the following effect: that equipped monster gains 400 attack and defense. It cannot be destroyed by spell or monster effects, and also your opponent cannot target it with monster spell effects either, which is an amazing ability. We then play 2 copies of Deck Devastation. Deck Devi is really good as a 2-of in the deck and just an amazing card overall, as it lets you tribute a dark monster with 2,000 or more attack and look at your opponent's hand and all monsters they control and all cards they draw until the end of their 3rd turn after this card's activation, and destroy all those monsters with 1,500 or less attack, just instantly dealing with hand traps, which is absolutely amazing. But this card is really good because a lot of monsters in today's game have low attack points, so this card is amazing in the build. We then played 2 copies of Eradicator Epidemic. Eradicator Epidemic is really good as a 2-of in the deck because this card can either completely wipe out spells or completely wipe out traps from your opponent. And this card has the ability to distribute a dark monster with 2,500 or more attack, declare one type of card, either spells or traps, look at your opponent's hand, all spells and traps they control, and all cards they draw until the end of the 3rd turn after this activation, and destroy all cards of that declared type, which is insane. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build, and just so, or 2-of in the build, and it's just so easy to be able to lock down your opponent. But the reason we only play 2 copies is because we also play Lord of the Heavenly Prison to be able to set it to our side of the field, which will give us a target to tribute for it, and we do play Trap Trick in the build as well, making it super easy to get this card. So this card is really great in the deck, but you really only need 2 copies. We then play 2 copies of Dogmatica Punishment. Dogmatica Punishment is great in the deck as a 2-of, just to help you pop cards on the field. Plus, we have a bunch of targets in the extract that you can use this card. So this card is amazing in the build. Plus, we don't use the extract all that often outside of Dogmatic Punishment targets. So this card is really good overall. We then play 2 copies of Metaverse. Metaverse instantly gets us to our copy of Lair of Darkness, so we're going to play this card as a 2-of in the build. We can also play 2 copies of Trap Trick. Trap Trick is great in this build because it basically takes all of these cards into 4-ofs, which is insane. As all you have to do is banish a trap card from your deck and then accept a copy of Trap Trick, and if you do, set a card with the same name directly from your deck to your side of the field, and it can be activated this turn, making this card absolutely broken to basically just say banish a copy of Eradicator, and then then set another copy of Eradicator directly from your deck, which is amazing because then you instantly have access to Eradicator, which is so cool. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is amazing in this deck as a 2-of, and remember this is a Pot of Extravagance extra deck, so you're going to be seeing a lot of 2-ofs in the extra deck. So this card is really good overall in the deck, because it's pretty easy to summon in this build, but it's overall fantastic because you don't even have to use a tuner to make this card. You can just use any light or dark monster to make this card, and it does spot remove a card off the field when it is summoned to your side of the field. We then played 2 copies of Golden Cloud Beast. Golden Cloud Beast is great in the deck for a dogmatic punishment target, because if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls and return it back to the hand. We play a single copy of Aggregator. Aggregator is great as a 1-of because this card is basically a negate with your copy of your dogmatic punishment, which is really cool because if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up card on the field and negate the effects until the end of the turn, which is a pretty cool ability. We then played 2 copies of Typhon. Typhon just belongs in every single deck, and this card is amazing to be able to summon to your side of the field and then back it up with a bunch of different trap cards. We then also played 3 copies of Elder Entity Nist. Elder Entity Nist is one of the best dogmatic punishment targets because it just helps you pop an additional card on the field. We then played 2 copies of Garua. Garua is really good in the deck because if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to draw a card, which is great with your copy of Punishment. Then we played 2 copies of the Tri-Brigade Arms. Tri-Brigade Arms is great because you can use this card as your large dogmatic punishment target. And once it touches the graveyard, you will get to send a copy of Garua from your extract to the graveyard, letting you draw a card and pop a monster with 3,500 or more, or 3,500 or less attack points, which is great. We then play a single copy of Beat Cop. Beat Cop is great as a 1-of in the deck, and this card helps you out a lot overall because this card has a great effect to if this card is link summoned using 2 dark monsters with different names as a material. You can actually tribute a monster and then target a face-up card on the field and place a patrol counter on this card, or on that card, excuse me. And if this card, or if a card with a patrol counter would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you remove patrol counter from it instead, just giving you a little bit of protection for your cards. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is really wild, and I love how you're able to use Metalmorph in so many different ways. And this is just one of the awesome ways you can actually use Metalmorph in a deck, especially with all the awesome new support that we just got. And this deck is just so fun to be able to play. So that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.